In this episode of Dig In, I'm going to show you how to make this boxwood wreath. So the first thing you're going to want to do is gather all your supplies to build your boxwood wreath. The first thing I like to get is a wreath form. This is about a 12-inch wreath form. Wire, I prefer the paddle wire, or you can just get strips of wire already pre-cut. You might want a pair of gloves just to protect your hands, depending on if you're making a wreath out of holly or Fraser fir. Might prickle your hands a little bit, so you might want some gloves. And then of course, a pair of pruners, and I went and freshly cut a bunch of boxwood. So we'll cut all this up and we'll get started. All right, so the first step after you've gathered all your supplies is to get your boxwood. I had some great boxwood out back and I went and cut a bunch of pieces. You can cut them to size right off of your shrubs, or you can just cut big chunks, which is what I've done, and then we'll cut them and put them into bunches. So here's all my chunks, and then all I'm gonna do is just cut them to size. So I want about an 8 to 10 inch piece, so I'm just gonna cut all of those off to the side. So now that I've cut all of my pieces to about 8 to 10, maybe 12 inches long, then all I gotta do next is form some bunches. It's really easy. I usually like to grab a big piece first, and then I'll lay some other pieces into it, and just get the bunch size that I want, which is roughly about that size. And then we'll just wire those together. I'll form a bunch of these, and we'll be ready to place them on the wreath. Now that we've got all of our bunches ready, I've got my wreath form. I'm gonna lay that flat on my table. And then this is where the paddle wire is gonna come in. I love paddle wire, and you'll see why. You can do it with individual pieces, but what you wanna do first is lay it on the underside of that wreath form, and then wrap it around on the interior, just to hold nice and tight. Give it a little pull, and then this is what the paddle wire does for you, is it allows you to pull it and make it nice and tight. I'm gonna wrap it a few times around, just to get started. And there we go, I'm ready to start. Leave that on the outside just like this, and then you're gonna lay your first bunch. So I've got my bunch here, I'm gonna lay it right in there, and then I'm gonna wrap it over, and I'm gonna do it probably about 3 times each time, so it's nice and tight. And what I love about the paddle wire is you can really pull it nice and tight. That's how you do your first bunch. Now you're gonna work on the opposite direction. So the next bunch is gonna come here. So what you wanna do is get your wire down there, and you're just gonna wrap it down to about where your next bunch is gonna lay. And then you lay your bunch down, and then you wrap it around. And we're gonna do that all the way till the last piece, and I'll show you how to put the last piece in. And we'll just keep on going. So now I'm almost done. I've just got one more piece to put in. This one can be a little bit trickier because you gotta tuck it under. So let me show you how to do that. Got my wire set up. I'm just gonna tuck it under my first bunch and put it over top of my last bunch, and then just wrap my wire around. I might go a little bit looser on that portion just so it doesn't constrict it too much. And then we'll just tighten it down on the inside. And there we have it. Now all we've gotta do is clip off the extra wire and just wrap it back in, and then there you go, you've got your wreath. Now you can see on the interior how that looks, how you've gone all in one direction all the way around. You've got your wire, it's nice and tight and durable. Now what you can do if you want to is you can just go through and clip off a couple of those pieces that maybe are getting a little bit out of control on you, maybe don't quite sit right. If you need to add a piece, you can always go and take some of that extra, clip off a piece, and tuck it into a spot that maybe needs a little bit more fullness. And that's basically how you do it. It's really, really easy. It's a lot of fun. You can make wreaths out of lots of different things. You can make it out of Fraser fir, Leyland cypress. I love boxwood. It's really easy to work with, and you can add a bow to it. I could add berries, hanging on my front porch, enjoy it all the way through the Christmas season. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments below and let us know what your favorite wreath to make for the season is, and we'll see you next time.